The Empire Elite Menavliaton, the shock trooper of the Empire, is quite an interesting tactical unit, but not one that can carry an infantry formation by itself. In this video, we are going to analyze everything about it, from performance on the field to equipment. The Elite Menavliaton line is tied to the Legionary one. The split between the two units happens at tier 4, where we can decide to either go shielded infantry by selecting the Legionary line, or shock infantry by selecting the Menavliaton tree. Some, myself included, like to call this type of infantry units shock troops. So don't be surprised if you hear this term again. The Elite Menavliaton is one of 3 shock troop units that gets a swingable polearm. In this case, it's quite surprising, called a Menavlion. Yep, very inspiring. The thing that many people like about these units is indeed the weapon, as a Menavliaton, like the Vulge and the Ronfalia, can one-shot pretty much any unit, and they are also very effective against cavalry. They are more effective than pikes. Yep, I'm looking at you, pikemen. My disappointment towards you only keeps growing. Okay, let's start to dive into the details of the unit by starting from the core stats. The Elite Menavliaton has a polearm, one-handed and athletic skill of all 130, making for just about a balanced unit. Nothing too good, nothing too bad. Like the Palatine, the Elite Menavliaton gets always the same equipment, so for this unit you can trust what you see on the encyclopedia. As a main weapon, the Menavliaton gets a polearm named very inspiringly Menavlion. It comes with 85 speed, 123 damage and 159 length. If we compare this weapon with the Bulge, we have a +9 in speed, a -65 in damage and a +16 in length. If we compare this one with the Ronfalia, we have a +9 in speed, a -18 in damage and a -44 in length. Now that we confronted all the weapons, let's draw some conclusions and take out some tests. The Elite Menavliaton ranked 40 melee efficiency among shock troops, that is 3rd worst for the class. The only 2 units that performed the worst were the 5th veteran Falksman by a factor of 50 more casualties, and the 6th ranked Valandian Pikeman by a factor of 140 more average casualties. Very far away from the Vulture, who ranked 2nd with an average casualty of 40 less and the same average kills. Very surprised by this one. The conclusion for these tests is that the damage and length of the weapon are far more important than the swing speed. The Vulture may get a slow swinger, but the raw damage is so high it kills most stuff in one shot, while the Falksman has too long of a weapon to do better than most competitors against infantry. If we talk about efficiency against cavalry, which is where a lot of these units are used for, we have the Elite Menavliaton ranking 2nd, Falksman 3rd and Vulture 4th. By these tests, it looks like the Falksman is a very overrated unit, which I'm sure a lot of people are absolutely going to agree with. For the sidearm, the Menavliaton gets the Fine Steel Spata, 89 speed, 68 damage and 107 length. This is the exact same weapon the Palatine Guard gets. Although for the Menavliaton I don't think it is of any use, as I never once saw a Menavliaton using one. For the utility, the Menavliaton gets the Pilum, 36 damage, 114 length. Kinda the same thing as the sidearm, I don't think I ever saw one actually use it. The throwing ability doesn't seem to work also after Tailwords made a change to unit's AI regarding throwables a few patches back. Once again, let's move on. Helmet, feathered Spangenhelm over Coif, 42 head armor. Ranked tied 4th, not a great helmet and worse by 11 armor points compared to the heroic Line Breaker. Only unit with a worse helmet is the Valandian Pikeman that gets 40. Not a good start for the armor, as head is the most important piece in my opinion. For the shoulders, the Menavliaton gets the heavy lamellar pauldrons, 17 body armor and 9 arm. This is the best shoulder armor out of any shock infantry. Most of the units either get pathetic armor in this lot or nothing. Very good piece, as body is the second most important defense to have. Body, luxury lamellar vest over leather, 33 body, 6 arm and 7 leg. Fourth best body armor in class, the 33 body is a very nice value when combined with the shoulder piece, and will grant the Elite Menavliaton the ability to compensate a little for the lack of head armor. For the arm, the Menavliaton gets the reinforced mail mittens, 23 arm armor. Best in class, edging second place by 3 points. Armor is no longer as important as I once thought, so this value isn't making the unit that much better, but it will definitely help out. Leg, strapped mail chassis? Chassis? I don't know. 23 leg armor. Tied first in class, once again the Menavliaton gets first place in an armor piece. This is the third armor piece where this happens. But once again, leg is not as important as body or head, so it's not that big of a deal. Final armor scores. Head is 42, ranking tied 4th. Body is 50, ranking 1st. Arm is 38, ranking 1st. Leg is 30, ranking 3rd. Judging by these armor scores, I would have expected the Menavliaton to rank a bit higher on the melee efficiency test, but I guess that the combination of the weapon not reliably one-shotting enemies and the low head armor is what makes it underperforming. Overall, it's definitely far from a bad unit, and using a few can make the difference and help the infantry out big times, especially against cavalry where this unit ranks second best. Only problem I see with this unit is the pilum and the sidearm being just filler, as I never saw them using them. Speaking about the unit itself, I think it's fine. It has a few weaknesses, it's far from the best, but it's also far from the worst. As I've been playing more and more with shock infantry, I really have changed my mind on them, and I can see the potential and the value of having a few supporting the main line, getting plenty of kills. If you're wondering how I use them, I just have them in my infantry formation, nothing too fancy there. Pros and cons. For the pros, I added 3 pluses in recruitability. You know the drill by now, it's an Empire unit, they are everywhere, and the extra plus is given by picking up Veteran Respect that allows you to train looters into Menavliatons or Legionaries. A double plus for Cavalry Slayer. This unit excels at killing mounted troops, and against some factions, it can save the day. One single plus to Polearm. I think it's a good weapon, and it's exceptional against cavalry. And a plus for the armor set. Apart from the head armor, the rest is top quality, making for a very tanky unit. For the cons, I added a double minus for the filler slots. 2 slots are taken up by weapons the unit is just not willing to use. It's a waste, plain and simple. And a single minus to head armor. 42 is quite low for an infantry unit, and head armor is one of those spots where a weakness makes a huge difference. My final ranking on the unit is a 3.5 out of 5 or a 7.5 out of 10. Did this video give you the info you were looking for? Have you considered giving the Menavliaton a chance next time you build up your army? Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching.